Five mayoral hopefuls took part in the first televised debate of the campaign last night, and we've invited them all into our studios today to talk about how it went. Mitzie Hunter joins us live now. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. So it was the first big debate. Did you feel you got a chance to make your case to be mayor of Toronto?
Absolutely. It was a great opportunity to be at the Daily Bread Food Bank. They had a packed house. Everyone was there talking about how we not only survive in Toronto, but thrive. And I had a chance to really talk to people in this city, particularly about the main issue of affordability and how they can afford to live here, and also introduce myself as, you know, a candidate for mayor, someone who brings competence and compassion, and it was a perfect opportunity to do that.
Well, these debates are a good platform to do that. Do you think that these debates are important to get your message out to potential voters?
Absolutely. You know, we know that Toronto is at a turning point, and we must not get to that breaking point in our city. I have a plan to fix the six, and I was able to talk about that last night, talk about my housing affordability plan. People want to be able to get to the place in our city where they can actually have a place to live and be able to afford food. That's what the debate was about last night. And I know that I have the best plan in terms of building more affordable housing units than any other person in the race.
You were given the opportunity to ask one candidate a question. Why did you choose to ask Olivia Chow the question?
Well, you know, I believe that Olivia needed to come clean with how many units of housing she was going to build, and it was 10,000 units. I don't think that's good enough. This city is at an affordable housing crisis. We need to build more units of housing so that people can, you know, afford to live here. We're losing our talent here because young people are leaving the city because when they start having families and they need more space, they just can't afford it. And so, you know, that's the focus of this campaign, is how are we responding to the major crisis in our city? And I just didn't think that Olivia's plan really cut it.
With the recent polls, it shows that she is taking a bit of a lead on some of the other candidates. How do you plan on shortening that gap?
Well, I want Torontonians to get to know why I'm in the race, that I want to build a city that works for everyone, everywhere in the city. I'm from Scarborough, of course. You know, everyone knows that. But I've been a long champion of Toronto. You know, when I was a young person working in business, I was helping the city build out its infrastructure. I've been the chief administrative officer for Toronto Housing. I know every neighborhood in this city. And of course, as Minister of Education, one of the toughest portfolios in the province, I also know the neighborhoods that way. But more importantly, I know how to negotiate with other levels of government. I just resigned my seat as the MPP for Scarborough-Guildwood, so of course I can negotiate on Toronto's behalf with the Premier, with the Prime Minister, making sure that Toronto has a true champion that brings new solutions to the challenges that we face.
June 26th, it's still far away. There's still lots of time for campaigning.
Yes.
What do you think you have to do in the next 6 weeks to win this election, to get your message out, to make sure that it resonates with the voters out there?
Letting people know that they're voting for Mitzie as someone with experience. I have that experience of leading at the city level, and I will be able to be Toronto's champion. Just this morning, I was in East York talking about my affordable housing plan, which actually includes more parks and playgrounds for families. As we're building those family neighborhood units, we want to make sure that we're taking care of our green space, that we have a green building, we're contributing to the environment. These are things that are really important to me. And I want to make sure that our city is a place that welcomes families, welcomes children, and that, you know, we have those green spaces set aside as we're developing more affordable housing.
And with so many candidates, Steve, especially with, you know, many of these candidates having a lot of the same top priorities that they want to tackle, do you find that it's challenging to separate yourself from the other candidates in the pack?
No. Because I know I bring a broader set of experience and skills that are needed to manage and lead the city at this time. Competence and compassion. I bring that. I have the experience and the track record, having been a CEO at Civic Action, which is all about building a thriving city region, as well as a CAO of Toronto Housing. I understand how to build affordable housing and mixed units of housing so that we are actually building sustainable neighborhoods.
Mayoral candidate Mitzie Hunter, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate your time.